What's up, everyone? Arctic here, and this week got some more gears for you guys. I'm on schedule. I'm doing good. I don't know how long I can last, but I'm feeling good about it. Lots of positive discussion so far has been happening. And last week I talked about what did I talk about last week? Oh, rage quitters and how I would penalize them. So if you haven't checked that video out, there will be a link down in the description. You can go view it. The This week, though, I want to talk about this kind of wish list stuff. The prospect of a Forge mode in Gears of War. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Forge from Halo, I'm sure very many of you are not unfamiliar with it. So I would imagine that everyone has at least experienced Forge mode to some degree. But if you have not experienced Forge mode, it is basically a map editor experience, very light editing tools for the Halo community to produce maps and, in some cases, new game modes. Now, I think this would be pretty beneficial to Gears of War. I don't know what is capable in the time span that they've been given, since we don't have a set date, but I definitely think that the community would benefit from a Forge opportunity for, I think, a wide array of reasons, but I'm going to err on the side of the competitive community and talk about my experiences with their DLC plan and how they've rolled it out in the past and why it has been a negative effect on my experience playing the game. Now, for Gears of War 3, I got the Season Pass. I don't think I got it for Judgment, and I don't think Season Passes existed in Gears of War 2, but I ended up playing the DLC there. But there seems like there's this common pattern with DLC that maybe is mandated by Microsoft or the publisher or whoever, where for map content you only get like 3 maps, and Gears of War seems like they've done basically like server side map updates whenever you get a DLC. So basically you can have those maps on your hard drive, but you have to be connected to the internet in order to use it. So when you take it to LAN, even if you have your hard drive and it has the maps on it, you can't actually load those maps on a LAN environment. So and for those unfamiliar with LAN, it's basically where competitive tournaments are played. So like a Hypefestation or MLG tournament, those are all LAN networked systems. So Gears of War has not been very friendly for the LAN scene traditionally because of how they've done DLC and gated it behind the internet, basically, and verification of your hard drive and the files there. I'm thinking that's what happens. So I have always been limited to whatever the default maps are whenever I've gone to tournaments. And that's fine and dandy for a little while, but I feel like in order to keep things going and in order to keep people interested in the game from a competitive standpoint, and without people dropping in, dropping out, sometimes you got to throw in new maps into the mix. And, I love tradition. I love sticking with, a set number, but it's good to switch things up, whether it be to show off, in this case for Forge, community-driven projects or better designed projects for competitive play, whatever the case may be. I think that by having Forge in there, it allows for more creativity and more variable, I think, play than, and variety, I should say, play than without. So I would like to see Forge used because I've seen how it's done for the Halo community, and I think there's, oftentimes it takes a while to get to the point at which you can accept a map and then move on. But I like that having the user-driven content helps keep the game alive and fresh, which oftentimes is not the case when developers are on a schedule. Every 3 months or every 6 months they can release updates because that's the pace at which they're going to work, versus a Forge mode or something like that where people can throw together a quick sandbox map and that might be the best map ever, right? Like, I think that there's a certain element of that definitely helps keep your community very interested and invested in the game. So I would err on the side of having Forge for the competitive community, but I think it also obviously benefits the community not invested in the competitive scene because of those, some of those same reasons, right? So, some people don't buy the DLC, right? Like, and the DLC traditionally has been separated by playlists. So, we might have, 1 million people playing, but only a fraction of that has the DLC while everyone else is in a separate playlist. So, I think that the playlist separation has definitely been something that has hurt the community in the long run, and having all these different types of things available. And, I don't necessarily know if a Forge playlist adds or deters from that, if it has to go through an approval process with the studio, but it certainly adds a lot more content to the game and keeps people interested, and hopefully doesn't put out any level designers. But at the same time, I think you get to see some people that become very skilled at what they do, and people want to see more of their maps. So, from a casual standpoint, you get people that end up being really creative, that can show off some of their creative abilities through either modes, creative modes, or new map designs. And then they also get to play different maps and have an experience there that they wouldn't otherwise have when people introduce DLC. So I think that it would be an interesting and compelling argument for a Forge mode in Gears of War. I don't know if it's necessarily something that they would even consider, but I think that it adds quite a bit to the longevity of the gameplay, and I think that's really important. So hope you guys enjoyed today's commentary. I'm definitely interested to hear what you guys think about a Forge mode or a map editor in Gears of War 4 or the new Gears of War title coming out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like.